Hello everybody, welcome to Planet FPL, the world where everything revolves around Fantasy Premier League. My name's Suj.
And my name is James.
This is the last podcast we will record this season before any football is being played.
Other than the Champions League final, the playoff finals.
Yeah, that shit doesn't matter.
What?
Your team's not in it, my team's not in it, we're never going to be in it.
Sarge. Did you watch Rangers
You
Wednesday
might be.
night?
You might be in the Championship playoff finals one day. You never know.
Did you watch Rangers Wednesday?
Nah.
They were very unlucky.
Yeah, I heard, but then didn't Frankfurt possibly have a penalty that didn't go to VAR, or was it Rangers that had a penalty that didn't go to VAR?
It was a very even game. Just like to point out as well for any of the eagle-eyed viewers on YouTube that me and Suj have both left our wives at the same time. We both not got our wedding rings on.
At some point, there's going to be
together.
Yeah. Because this time next week we'll be preparing for a night out in Birmingham.
That's it. We're
after
taking it off for the whole
game week 39, so we're just in preparation. Ladies of Birmingham, get yourselves ready. James and Suj, ringless.
Suj was doing jiu-jitsu and forgot to put his ring back on. I was playing five-a-side and forgot to put my ring back on.
Yeah, I kind of 50-50 of the week now, because whenever I'm training, I don't put it on, then I bother or whatever. So I've got a really clip on my car keys, so I know always where it is. It's on the clip on my car keys. James, on the other hand, don't know.
All right, come on in. Tell us about your brilliant free hit.
Oh, yes. You want to know about it, do you?
Yeah, went very well for you, mate.
109 points, basically made up of... the difference was...
The Leicester boys, the two Leicester boys.
It was a choice of Castagne plus Jacob Ramsey plus Harry Kane, or Luca Dean plus Madison plus Vardy. And that ended up being a massive swing.
No-brainer.
Ended up being a massive swing. It was Vardy over... the big swinger was Vardy over 2 versus Kane with 1 fixture, even though I thought you'd really beat Burnley. Then meant I could have Madison and bench Gordon rather than having to play Gordon. And then obviously I picked Luca Dean over Castagne. And it's played out really well. Richarlison captain, 38 points. You'll take that in a double game week, any given double game week.
Another big popular captain double game week haul.
Yep.
I've seen a few triple captain Richarlison's knocking about.
Nice. James Madison, 25 points. That's tiny as well.
Everybody listening to this is going to wish attack the -4 for Madison. And if they're not wishing it, it's because he's in their team. So hindsight is a bitch.
Yeah, Vardy 15, and then I had 8 points of Luca Dean, 6 off Zaha, and 4 from Matty Cash. Little trickles here and there. But that was it, really. And I can't forget the 24 points on the bench. My 2 Tottenham heroes, Sessegnon and Davinson Sanchez.
Then, ironically, you started with, 3 single game week players?
Yes. And
Son, KDB, and Cancelo. I mean, what a 3. 6 points?
6 points.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And this is why you chased the double game week dream.
109 gave me a game week rank of 73k. So it's all right. It's not. It's my third highest game week rank of the season. I've had a 50 and a 20 week
overall now,
but 124, which is my highest rank of the season. So nice to be going into the final game week. Peaking at I was at 122. Sorry, so close enough. Going into the final game week with a wildcard and...
just call it a free hit.
Yeah,
please.
It's worked out okay.
Suj is on his third free hit on Sunday.
So I've...
have you activated the wildcard?
Nah,
no,
not
of
yet.
course you haven't.
I'll do it today or whatever.
God's sakes.
I was just worried about value now.
Yeah, but it might be the 0.1 difference to the team that you want.
Who's gone up in value this week?
KDB for a start.
KDB... Yeah, I'm not sure if I'll have him. We'll have to wait and see. He'll get rested.
Yeah, of course. No chance of KDB getting arrested on Sunday.
Perhaps. 109, I'll take it now. So it's been a good couple of weeks kind of progressing up the ranks. And I want to... My goal is simple. Break the top 100k.
Can you do it?
Yeah.
How many points do you know?
No, but whilst you tell everybody about your week, I will tell you. I will go and find out how many points to the top 100k.
I scored 75 points. To be honest, I mean, half of that is from Captain Richarlison as well. I saw so many people prior to the game week going, I don't get it. I just don't get it with Richarlison. It feels like another Dennis, another Weghorst. And again, it's easy to be the hindsight merchant afterwards and go, no, that's not the case. Because Everton do at least score more goals than Watford and Burnley, respectively. And we know the capabilities of Richarlison over a number
and
of
it's
years.
And it's 2 home fixtures was the big swinger.
Actually, was it any different to Dennis and Weghorst and stuff? And this was his highest ever score in an FPL game week.
Yeah.
Of 19. Any other returns I had were Wilfried Zaha 6. I mean, are we calling Cash, Gordon, Schmeichel's 4s? Are we calling them?
Little trickles.
Ollie Watkins 10.
Yeah, decent.
And again, like many of the double game weeks this season, that a lot of people free hitted and captained Danny Ings, which looked kind of golden last week. But again, and this is going to sound like a hindsight comment, I spoke about this on my deadline stream on Sunday morning because I tweeted my team out Saturday night and said, this is what I'm doing. At the moment, I'm keeping Watkins, but I'll make a final decision in the morning. And I was obviously had been deliberating moving Watkins, who's got 10 points, to Danny Ings. I think he's finished on 3.
Yep.
To Danny Ings from -4. And I'm sure a lot of people made a similar sortish move to that. But my thoughts on Watkins were, I think the one that got people, and I still see people saying it, oh my God, Gerrard said Watkins hadn't trained all week. So basically...
he's going to train tomorrow, and if he trains tomorrow, he's going to play.
It was basically a complete misquote because that was on Friday. He played Liverpool on Tuesday. So the idea that he hadn't trained all week was, no, basically he hadn't trained for 2 days. And as I was saying to people was, look, if he comes through training on Saturday, okay, there's every chance he'll play because it's not like he's coming back from 3 weeks absence. He's not lost any match fitness. He hasn't trained for a couple of days. Jamie Vardy didn't train for Leicester before playing at Chelsea last night because he was in the fucking High Court with his missus, right? So what? So he didn't train. So what? So I held on to Watkins, and again, it's clever dick afterwards. But yeah, I mean, I could have -4'd that, and then what? That'd have been 11 points worse off for me, wouldn't it? The 7 difference plus the -4. So holding Watkins, nice. Wilfried Zaha 6, 75. I am overall 82,257. I too am on free hit this week. I think I would need something extraordinary to get inside the top 50k. I don't think that's possible for me, but with the free hit in hand, should in theory, I guess, finish in the top 100k, and I'll take that for this season. It's been a very challenging year.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I'm 17 points, mate, off top 100k. It's quite a big gap to make up, but if my captain this weekend goes off, then we'll be good.
I think you can do that.
Yeah, I think so too. But
I mean, I don't think it's impossible that you can catch me.
31 points, mate.
You will have an advantage if that's your target.
Why?
Well, you'll know my team on Saturday night, mate.
Why?
Because I'm going to fucking Norwich. That's all that matters on Sunday.
So you're not going to do
I don't care. I ain't looking at shit.
It's not necessarily an advantage. It's only if I want to go different to you.
Well, yeah, there's your advantage. You'll see what I'm going to do.
Yeah, and that difference might not play out. So my goal is not that. My goal is to have my first ever 5-figure rank finish, which I've never done before. So
you're blatantly finishing at like 100k and 98 or something, aren't you? Blatantly.
You never know. We've had 5 games since we last recorded. It feels a bit weird because we've obviously recorded other pods in between and have talked about a lot of these games,
particularly Arsenal.
Yeah, and now we'll wrap them all off, but with the view of trying to understand what's the relevance for this weekend, which is what people particularly care about.
I think there's a wider conversation, but yes, we should probably bring Tottenham into the Arsenal conversation, Man City into Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean Everton into the Arsenal conversation because obviously Everton won yesterday, which means they're safe, which means now there's less intensity on the weekend.
You've got another Everton game to talk about, mate.
Yeah, no, but when we talk about Arsenal, we're talking about their game on Sunday, and the context of that has changed by the fact that Everton won. If Everton had drawn or lost, then suddenly they need to get something out of it, more intensity.
But then, who knows? Maybe they've been under so much pressure that they'll go there, hungover, play with freedom, and all the pressure suddenly is completely on Arsenal, and you never know. I imagine Everton will set up similar to how they did against Liverpool, Chelsea, kind of go in with a 5-4-1.
I wish you were manager of the North team in North East South. Wow. Boys, just turn up hungover and we'll play with freedom. Can't turn out hungover, mate.
I don't know who the North manager is, but if I was their manager, they'd probably have a better chance of winning.
Fighting talk.
And I wouldn't try and stitch them up, honestly.
You're going to try and do a Patrick. I heard Patrick Vieira's under investigation.
My best guess, though, on the Everton team at the weekend, we'll probably come back onto it, is my best guess would be that Richarlison won't play. And he's obviously going to be sitting in a lot of teams for free hitters. He's not in yours, I should imagine. But, I mean, if we weren't free hitting this week, he'd be in mine, for example. There's a lot of people who are going to have just bought him. I don't think he was hobbling for about 10 minutes before he went off last night. And with the turnaround, my best guess would be he doesn't play. But
Newcastle deserving winners in that game against Arsenal.
They were.
Arsenal really have disappointed in the last couple to let it slide. So mentally now...
Some would argue that they've lived up to expectations, Suj.
Well, let's see. I think it's funny. North London, the two of you, is like... you're either calling Spurs Spursy or Arsenal shit in the bed. I don't know is it just the two teams that want to disappoint?
There's only one team in the world that's more Spursy than Spurs. It's Arsenal.
Perhaps. Perhaps. I think they'd argue differently. They've won quite a lot of trophies in more recent times, James.
Please.
They need to win against Everton.
Do you think?
They've got no chance otherwise, and I think they will.
Oh, yeah, I don't doubt that they'll win on Sunday. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal win about 4-0 on Sunday.
I'll have Saka. I'm not really... as much as Newcastle deserve to win and have done well, it's not going to put me off having Saka. I may even get Ramsdale.
I wouldn't bother with Ramsdale. Purely because I think that if you wanted to go for Arsenal defensively at the weekend, there's very viable, cheaper options in the defence. You can have Cedric or Tavares. Tomiyasu got injured again Monday night, which is an ongoing problem for them, isn't it? Mind you, I think my hamstring would go trying to keep up with St. Maximin as well, to be fair. So you've got Cedric or Tavares if you want cheap defensive. I think Martinelli will come back into the team. I would have thought. It's 5.3, I want to say.
Yep.
So you can consider him. Saka's obviously great value.
Come back into the team.
I think I was of the opinion going into Monday night that Smith Rowe would play. Because I think they wanted a bit more control, but the reality is, I mean, they were nowhere near control in the game. So I think they'll want Martinelli back in the team, is my instinct for the Everton game. So, yeah, look, there's an element of risk of that, but I think if you're looking for someone at around about the 5.3-ish value for the weekend, you're looking at sort of Martinelli, Mbeumo, Visser's a little bit more. But then, of course, you've obviously mentioned Saka. Saka's, 6'7" or something? Very, very conceivably could be in my team. And Ketcher, I bought at 5'4", so I think he stays for me even if I decide not to start him. But I think I probably will. I think they're better Everton on Sunday, to tell you the truth. You might even play with freedom. It might even do him a favour in terms of the game. Obviously, wouldn't do him a favour. But if they heard that Tottenham are 2 or 3 up, it might even do them a fact, just go and play football without the pressure. How many times have you seen Arsenal? I feel like this happens a lot with them over the years. They shit the bed and then the pressure's off and they batter someone.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right.
Yeah.
I haven't got any statistical evidence of it, but it does feel like that's the case.
And to be honest, they don't actually go into Sunday with any pressure because the expectation from most neutrals is obviously that Tottenham will at least get a result at Norwich and take 4th. So there's no pressure on Arsenal on Sunday, whereas they've been dealing with that recently. There's no expectation. The only expectation on Sunday is that they go and get the points, and I'm pretty convinced that they will.
You're not going to touch Newcastle at Burnley?
I would not rule that out at all.
Getting Newcastle?
Yep.
Who specifically?
Well, Bruno Gomes is great value. And what a player
would you play him?
Every time I watch him, I'm asking myself, how have they got him? And I know people go, it's the money. But more my point is, why has no one else gone for him?
But if you bought him, would you start him?
Probably not, but we'll probably talk about this more. It's particularly relevant around Chelsea, I think. A bench for those of us, and it's a very small minority that are free hitting this week. I think I don't want to flatten out the bench with nothing because I want to gamble a couple of Chelsea players, and I've got no confidence that they start right now. They're the ones. I think even Chelsea more than Tottenham's the ones to target this weekend in terms of getting in. But the risk around them is
massive.
Like I think Kepa will play in goal, for example. Like I think it will go that far based on what Thomas Tuchel said last night. I thought, there was some outstanding performers for Newcastle. None more so than I thought Callum Wilson was absolutely brilliant up front, considering he lost a tooth after half hour.
Yeah.
And hadn't started for Yonks. It was his first start. He looked bang on it fitness-wise. So impressed with his fitness levels and the way he played. He troubled the two centre-halves massively. I thought he was excellent. So Callum Wilson, I feel like Wilson and Tony are the two around about that price value. If I want to go with one, common sense says it should be Tony. But to be honest, I think, and we're talking about those two forwards obviously playing Leeds and Burnley who are fighting a draw. I think Newcastle and Brentford will both win on Sunday. So Wilson is still very much under consideration. It has to be said, and obviously the narrative, of course, will be Arsenal and the way they played. And things like Xhaka's interview afterwards and stuff like that, which depending on your kind of point of view, either was a great interview or a really bad interview where he threw some people under the bus, and there's a few times he should have thrown himself under a bus in the past. But also, there's also the bit of me that goes, I don't really want to criticise players who come out and be honest and tell it like it is, because that's what we want, right?
Yep.
Newcastle were honestly absolutely brilliant. We did on our Patreon pod last Friday, I'd said to you, I think draw, and didn't want to speak about it anymore because I didn't want to tempt fate, but I genuinely believed that they would probably get something off of Arsenal.
It was last home game.
What I didn't expect was to be sitting there at half time and Newcastle had like 65% of the ball. Think of the swing of how they're playing as well. It's not just that Eddie Howe's gone in there and they've had great results. Look at how they're playing. They're genuinely a threat to the top six next year. I think top four, it's difficult to say now about knowing who they're going to buy. Top four next year is probably a little bit too ambitious. But top six, I think, like they could come past all the with respect, the West Ham's, Leicesters and stuff. They could completely come past next year. Yep.
Southampton 1, Liverpool 2. Obviously, when we saw the lineup, you're suddenly thinking this is bizarre. Like, Liverpool need to win both their games, so you think let's just get the job done, and they did. They did in the end. But when you saw the team, you're almost like, is Klopp throwing this? But he's clearly not going to throw the league. His players just needed a rest.
Traffic lights. I'm not going to talk about it anymore, honestly. Because you got to remember as well, he don't want to lose these players for Champions League final stuff as well.
No.
And realistically, he'd a no-go into the game. He's looking at going, City beat Villa, there's nothing we can do, right? So you're being realistic about it. He doesn't want to lose players. I mean, honestly, as I said to you on the pod on Monday, like both teams in extra time, they'd put on a brilliant show, Liverpool and Chelsea. They were battered. Physically, you could see it. So I'd gone to the point from when I did my team news stream on Friday for the patrons going, look, I think Liverpool will be strong at Tuesday. Here's my best guess, yada, yada, yada. To then watching the final Saturday and then doing my deadline stream on Sunday and saying to people, I really think it's going to be a B team. To then City dropping points against West Ham and thinking, no, they can't do that. They've got to still go for it because it's on. If City had won at West Ham, it was finished, basically. And then I really thought it was like complete B team, which is basically what he's ended up doing near enough anyway, bar. I mean, what? I think from the team I was originally picking on Friday, 3 of them were in, was Matip, Jota and Alisson. That was it.
Are you planning on going big?
On Liverpool?
Yeah.
I'm undecided, and again, it's possibly linked into Chelsea because it's what I really want to go with this weekend. But I know I could easily get 3 Chelsea players and be free for 3 points. Like honestly, Trent, Robertson are in my team anyway, so I'm loath potentially to move them on. So I think they'll stay. The third one for me, preference is Luis Diaz. I want to squeeze him in. I think if I can.
Thoughts on Salah? Too much of a risk.
To be honest, I just think like I'm going to captain Sonny at the weekend. So I'd rather save the 5 million knowing that in one football match, any of them could outscore him. My instinct is, and again, we haven't got the team news at time of recording, but he is doing a presser today. My instinct is Salah will play on Sunday is my instinct. I think he'll just want to get minutes in him before the Champions League final again. So it depends on the injury. I think similar applies to those who got Van Dijk. I'd be very surprised if Van Dijk didn't play. He did say before Tuesday that Salah's injury was worse than Van Dijk's. And I think, to be honest, if Liverpool had gone into Tuesday night's game and been top, like I think he would have picked a stronger team. Like he would have risked a few, should we say, that would perhaps not those that were left at home, but a few that were sitting on the bench, like Robertson and stuff like that. I think he probably would have risked them and gone a little bit stronger. But look, credit to them, they got the job done, right? Firmino was outstanding. Another one who hasn't played much.
Keep his place?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so. I think he'll want to pick close to the team that he's going to pick in the Champions League final, just to give it some rhythm. Who do you think's got the easier game of Liverpool City at the weekend? Just out of interest.
City.
Do you think?
Wolves defensively. Stubborn. Yeah, I mean, it's not much in it. I think City, probably.
I think there's more danger to City. And I do think City will win, by the way. And I think both teams will win comfortably. I don't think either will win big, but I think both will win comfortably. I look at Wolves and think, yeah, you're right, defensively, but then it hasn't been so much recently, has it?
No.
Shipped 5 against City, drew 2-2 at Chelsea, 1-1 against Norwich. When was Wolves' last clean sheet? There's a test for you while I'm talking, Suj. Whereas I think kind of what you said, obviously City have had some defensive issues. We think John Stones and Cole Walker might be back, which would be a major plus to them. Obviously,
yeah, Fernandinho's not playing centre-back, then obviously it makes a big difference.
Well, I think if Stones and Diaz are still out, as much as I've spoken about Aki and Laporte not playing together, I think they would.
They probably would.
I think they would in this one, yeah, because I think he'd have enough worry about Watkins' movement at the top end. That said, maybe Ollie Watkins won't play this one, right? Maybe it'll be, obviously, Ings and Coutinho didn't start last night, so you would think they probably start the Etihad. I think he'll go 2 up front, though, Gerard. I think he'll go Ings and Watkins and probably play like a diamond with Coutinho at the front of that behind. They'll go for. I think they'll go for it. Like, you know, obviously they're going to sit off and play a low block and stuff. But I think in terms of on the counter and stuff, I think they'll go for it. They'll try and hurt City. I really think they'll probably play 2 up front. So I think there's more danger to City. I think Liverpool's danger is will they, won't they score is more the point. That is a little bit of me, Suj, thinks should just go treble Liverpool defensive.
I've got Trent, Robbo, Salah. I might keep Trent and Robbo, if I'm honest with you. I'm tempted to keep both of them.
Salah, I don't think I'll have.
Yeah, he's expendable because of the money for De Bruyne and Kane and Son.
Game. One game. I'm not going to captain him, so I would rather. What can I? It's not just Salah versus Diaz. Like, who do I think scores more? Salah. Yeah, but then I've got another £5 million to play with, right? So I think Diaz is the one I want to force in, but no guarantee. City might just be Cancelo for me. I think I'm tired of guessing. Like, I was certain that Foden would play at West Ham last week, and he didn't even get on the pitch. And I'll be certain that Foden plays again this weekend, and I might have that completely wrong. I might go double defensive if the news is positive on the likes of Stones, Walker. I might keep Laporte in with bless you, Nico. I might keep Laporte in with Cancelo. The rest, I think I'm gonna like De Bruyne and stuff. I'm gonna go without. I think
Everton,
Villa, obviously no interest. Saints at Leicester, they changed system. They went like back 5. I mean, Redmond plays as a wing back on the left. They tried to play quite similar to our Tottenham play, which I can understand because of the blueprint of what Tottenham did at Liverpool a couple of weeks ago. Very interestingly, Suj, Everton are 1 point behind Southampton.
They're going to overtake them.
No, because Everton will get beat Arsenal.
Southampton have just had a
Southampton are at Leicester
season.
On the beach. Are Southampton on the beach? I don't think anyone's on the beach anymore. I don't think it's a term anymore. I think we've seen enough results over the last couple of weeks where it's a narrative which every time someone has got technically nothing to play for loses is straight away they're on the beach.
They just lost.
But no one says it when they win.
Everton 3, Palace 2. I mean, Palace, you could say, are on the beach, but they were 2-1 up for a large part of it. Even when they were 2-1 up, I did think that they would lose. I just thought Everton are going to force their way through. Yeah, just sheer will of we're at home. If we don't win this, there's every chance we're going down. I just thought, not quality, not based on quality, but based on sheer will of shit. We better.
Well, I was playing football last night at 9 o'clock, and I think Michael Keane scored around about that time. But when we kicked off, I didn't know. I knew Palace were winning 2-0. So when come off the pitch and someone said Everton had won, I genuinely couldn't believe it.
I thought they were
stunned.
I had Richarlison captain, right? And even Sky captain him. I thought I felt he's going to score here. Even to get to 2-2, he did, obviously.
Have you seen the goals?
No, I didn't watch the highlights.
Mate.
Lucky.
First thing I said to Nico this morning, I said, you got to see Palace's second goal. It's so funny. It encapsulates Everton's season in terms of defensive woes, where Coleman loses the ball in the halfway line, Mateta breaks, ball comes back to Zaha. I think Pickford saves it from Mateta. It comes back to Zaha. Pickford's all over the place. He managed to get another hand on it. It hits Jordan Ayew on the jaw, spins, goes towards goal. Ayew tries to stretch and touch it in. I think it's Mikalenko stretches to try and block it. And Decore's standing behind both of them on the line. No one gets a touch and it trickles in. I can imagine, and I watched that game back last night when I got home, what the Evertonians in the ground must have been thinking at that moment, having watched that goal. You think, oh my God. And the pressure on them was huge because, again, we spoke about this Monday with Calvert-Lewin's interview after the Brentford game, where he was like, we got to win Thursday, basically we're getting nothing on Sunday. He basically said that himself. But fair games to them. Sometimes you get a sea of momentum in football matches, and Palace had chances in the second half as well. Pickford made one really good save again from Mateta. Wilf had one of his nights. So do you know one of them Wilf nights? It's offside all the time, moaning at every decision and stuff. Once Everton scored, you could feel it. And obviously, Richarlison's goal has an element of fortuitous about it in the fact that it deflects off of Gallagher and goes in the far corner. From there, though, you obviously, I knew what had happened. But watching the game, you could sense that something would potentially happen. And Calvert-Lewin's header is an absolutely fantastic header. Can I just point out as well, obviously, loads of people ran on the pitch. He's only just onside. Could you have imagined?
Yeah, VAR.
I mean, that would be the ultimate VAR, wouldn't it? Stop going on the football pitch. Seriously, I think there's every chance we're going to be doing a full podcast on this next week, so I don't want to speak about it too much. But it's a hot topic at the moment, pitch invasions. Stop going on a football pitch. It is a criminal offence to go on a football pitch. The problem is when 20,000 do it, you can't hand out criminal offences to 20,000 people, can you, Suj?
I mean, the guy that was at the Forest Sheffield United games sitting in jail, who took out Billy Sharp. Was it Billy Sharp he took out? There was someone arrested from that.
I mean, that is disgraceful.
Tell me about it.
Blindsided him. Didn't even go up to him.
It was
blindsided him. Didn't even see him coming.
Everton are now through, but I don't think we're picking Everton with and Palace. We're not. Palace, I think, have got a good chance against United, but you kind of think United might win.
I said to you earlier in the week, I think, look, United have had 2 weeks to prepare for it. Palace have obviously had a difficult week with the game last night and Villa on Sunday. Winning at Selhurst is not easy by any means, but actually I think United might... Ten Hag's been around the place this week, doesn't officially start till Monday, but he's going to be at Selhurst Park as well, apparently. So I think there's a little bit of motivation back for United. I think they'll win on Sunday, actually, United. But I think if you've got Zaha, I think he's an easy keep for the weekend. I don't think you sell. The chances are, if you've worked through 37 and you've got the likes of Zaha, you've probably got more pressing issues like Everton and Villa. You probably feel... I mean, you're in a gorgeous position if that's your biggest problem this week is moving on Wilfried Zaha. I would have thought you... If you're sitting there with Richarlison and Ings, you got to be looking at it. You're looking at the likes of Wilson, Tony and stuff for the last day, I think, aren't you? Or similar to that.
What's your thoughts on Villa 1, Burnley 1? Villa I'm avoiding... Even though they'll give City a reasonable run out. Burnley, I'm avoiding 2.
State the fucking obvious, Suj.
Burnley, I'm avoiding 2. You've said you think Burnley and
I
think
Newcastle would be too good for them.
So leave them out of it. But it's only goal difference between Leeds and Burnley. You still think Leeds might go? It's tight.
Yeah, I think, to be honest with you, if you ask me for predictions now, I'd say I think Newcastle probably win 2 or 3-1 at Burnley. I wouldn't be surprised if Brentford beat Leeds about 3-0.
So no Mason Mount yesterday for Chelsea. It was Ziyech and...
Have you literally just moved on from Villa and Burnley like that?
What else do you want to talk about? Go on, talk about
nothing. Other than they stuck with... It is important to reference the fact that they've stuck with the system that they played at Tottenham. So you got McNeil playing in the midfield 3 at the moment. Tarkowski came back. That's quite important to them. It looks like Cornet and Barnes are going to play through the middle at the moment. So, I mean, should we overlook Maxwell Cornet final day? There's a lot of people will be looking at that right now and going, they've got to win, they've got to win, they've got to win. We've got an OOP midfielder playing up front. Consider Maxwell Cornet for the weekend. He's in and around that value. And was he 5'8", 5'9", something like that? When was Wolves' last clean sheet, by the way? Did you find that out?
I didn't even bother looking because I knew it was going to be a long time ago. I thought, let me leave it.
Yeah, Maxwell Cornet, I think Maxwell Cornet will be a consideration for some. And there's obviously some others who own. I think if you own, you definitely hold. He obviously won the penalty, which Ashley Barnes took last night. But no, otherwise, no, I'm not. I don't look at that at the weekend and think, do you know what? Wow, Burnley have got to get a result against Newcastle. I want to put Burnley assets this weekend. No, I don't. There's too many good teams with too many good fixtures this week for me to be considering them. Remember I went treble Burnley defensive a couple of years ago? Game week 38. Because Nick Pope was going for the Golden Glove, weren't he?
Golden Glove.
Treble Burnley. That's what I did. That was in the COVID season, wasn't it? Game week 38. And I did have a very good game week other than this. But yeah, treble Burnley defence, I'm to Brighton. I fucking lost 2-1, didn't I?
Oh, dear. Chelsea won, Leicester won. I mean, you're big on Chelsea here.
I think whatever team they put out, they'll destroy Watford on Sunday.
That's because Watford are shite. The thing is right now...
it's not just that Watford are shite. Watford have about 10 injuries unless that situation's changed.
So Ziyech, Pulisic, Lukaku was the front three starting yesterday.
Yeah.
Which means I think Mount's going to come... Mount will probably play.
Mount now feels the obvious one.
Let's get him back in.
But just before you carry on, just a note on that, and it bothered me on Saturday. Mason Mount has taken penalties for Chelsea. Mason Mount, when he scored the hat-trick against Norwich, took a penalty earlier in the season. And that wasn't his hat-trick goal. I think that was for his second goal. So you would think when they get into a penalty shootout, you would think Mason Mount would definitely be one of the 5 penalty takers, no? Mason Mount took Chelsea 7th on Saturday. And it did make me wonder if there might be an injury problem. But then he was on the bench last night. But then he was also unused. So is he even a guarantee? Tuchel said, and there isn't a Tuchel press conference today, I'm afraid to tell you. I don't know if there might be a few tomorrow, possibly, because obviously everyone's playing on Sunday, but it would be unusual. But Tuchel said after the game last night, we want to give opportunity to start players on Sunday who have not started much recently. So I'm thinking people like Saunagez, Malang Sarr.
Hudson-Odoi.
I don't think he's fit, is he?
I
Still?
don't know.
He's been injured.
Chalobah.
Chalobah's played quite a bit recently.
Yeah,
he played the cup final. We played last night. Do you go with Azpilicueta has been an incredible servant for Chelsea. My instinct would be that he starts.
But he's leaving, fuck him off.
But unlike, say, like Christensen, and I don't want to be too critical of this because there might actually be a mental health thing behind this, but he'd said on the day of the cup final that he didn't feel in the right state to play. And there's a lot of Chelsea fans are quite angry about that at the moment. So you would think probably for him to play on Sunday doesn't matter. I think in Azpilicueta's case, he gets the armband on Sunday and he plays final home game, I would have thought. Now, where does he play? Well, it could be wing back, could be right-sided centre back, because as soon as I say that, I'm sure there's people going, Reece James. Well, at the moment, I got Reece James sitting in there, but I haven't made a final decision yet. Ideally, prior to last night, I'm more confused about Chelsea now than I was, I think, prior to the game. I wanted to go from 3 from 4 or 3 from 5 between James, Alonso, Mount, Pulisic and Lukaku. Lukaku now looks very risky, I think. Wasn't great last night. Again, suffered with service quite a lot as well. Pulisic was the one I really, really wanted to punt. He had a golden chance last night and missed it in the second half. Suj. So you think Mount hasn't played any minutes, he's got to be the one. James and Alonso have played. It easily could be like Sal Niguez and Azpilicueta at wing-back. Talking about people that haven't played much recently. You think about people like Ross Barkley. Could he fucking play Ross Barkley at the weekend? Yeah, he could. And this is now a concern where I'm looking at going, I could get 3 Chelsea players this week, which I think's probably the right decision, and I might only get 3 points. It genuinely could be like that. There's a few that will go for a Chelsea asset this week that probably won't even get on the pitch, I bet. And that's why I don't want to thin out the bench with just Delphs and shit. At least when I have playing players sitting on the bench to cover that. So I think, yes, Mount looks like the outstanding one. But then I wouldn't even rule out Azpilicueta. But honestly, if Tuchel said on Saturday, yep, it's Azpilicueta's last game is going to start, I'd think I might even go with that. Because he gets the odd goal. And if he plays at wing-back as well, there's nothing to say whether he will or he won't. My guess is he'd probably more likely be right-sided centre-back because Chalobah's played the last 2 and because of the Christensen issue. But I'd arguably go with that. But then it's the age-old problem of going, that I talk about this a lot with City attacking players. I've got to have a City attacker. City fixtures are so good, but City share the goals between everyone. And actually, it's a similar issue with Chelsea. I think I'll almost definitely go with Mount, Suj. And I think anybody else with a free hit's probably going to do the same through the irony of that he hasn't started last night. And it might even be that I just go, that's it. I might go with Kepa. Because I'm looking at that and going, he's 4.5. If I went for a combination of, say, if the money is available, I went for a combination of, say, Kepa and Raya and got a real proper decent cover, then I'm only spending like 8.8 on the 2. I might consider that. I wouldn't go Kepa and Steele, for example. I'd go with a second. The thing is as well, though, like I can see them conceding. As much as I think they'll battle what, I can see them conceding. It wouldn't surprise me if the game's like 5-1 or 6-2 or something like that.
Yeah, difficult. Obviously, no deadline stream for you this weekend because you'll be in Norfolk.
Sorry.
Norwich. Are you going to do Saturday? I don't know. Are you planning? Yeah.
There is a plan. Okay. Not the deadline stream. Will be at 8 p.m. on Saturday.
Saturday night. Open your can of beer and sit and chat to James.
And because it's obviously in advance of deadline, I will release it as a podcast audio as well.
Oh, lovely. Nice. James putting in the hours as always.
That doesn't take too much work.
Listen, they don't know that. No, we just turn up and chat shit and put it out. No.
But it does take long enough that at some point I'll hear, are you fucking finished yet?
Stay tuned just for that. I think Saturday night I've got nothing on. I'll be tuning in and listening, mate. Right.
I thought might as well, it's not even match of day Saturday night, so I might as well do Saturday night. Yeah. Actually, no, I'm not going to lie. She told me, do the fucking night. I want the afternoon. All right, okay.
Okay, give her the choice. That's a good salesman's close. Do you want afternoon or evening?
I'd said to what I wanted to do really with the deadline stream was obviously if I obviously can't do it on Sunday. And there's a few, but do it in a pub in Norwich. No, don't be stupid. It
doesn't work like that.
I'm not doing that. Not doing that. I wanted to do 1:30 because the deadline's obviously 2:30. I wanted to do 1:30 on Saturday. And I said, I didn't want to do 1:30 because it's 24 hours. And she looked at me and went, middle of the day? Okay. I need to rethink this, don't I? It's like 8 o'clock tomorrow night.
Cool. Let's answer some of these questions that we've had in on Twitter. And anybody that's got very specific stuff for their FPL teams can always jump in on the deadline stream. Tomorrow, that's youtube.com/FPL.
Who have we not spoken about? Should we do that afterwards?
Nah, let's do it now. As in games that have got something riding on it. West Ham.
I mean, Bowen is right under consideration for me.
For me too.
Just super value. I can see goals in the game. I could see it being like 2-2 or 3-2 either way, something like that. Which is unusual for a Brighton game, but that's how I see it at the moment. So,
but Brighton at home and Brighton have been playing well as well. So
I just think like for us this week, he's not going to be a consideration for most people. He's absolutely golden. He's awesome value. It's only the fixture that puts me off a bit in terms of the opponent is obviously very good. But yeah, Jared Bowen, strong consideration. No Brighton players. Trossard would. We're not going back there, are we? Surely.
Yeah, we talked a bit about Brentford Leeds. You were saying David Raya. Brentford, we think will win home game. Last game.
Raya is most likely to. Well, he's almost definitely going to be one of my keepers. 4.3. I looked at his points per game this year, which is normally a pretty shitty metric to look at because you can have people playing all odds and sods minutes. But it is a handy one to look at with goalkeepers. I think he ranks 3rd or 4th over the season. That period where he missed, Brentford might have ended up finishing like 7th or 8th or so, actually. Be really interesting to see what happens with them next year. Would they have their own second season syndrome? But I don't know about you. I'm liable to think that because of the way they operate in the transfer market, they'll just improve, and it might mean that they go a small step backwards next year. I think
they might do what they're doing with their kit, mate.
But I think there are loads of Brentford players you could consider for the weekend for punts, and particularly those like I think Tony will be popular for those who have got Richarlison, Watkins, Ings, that sort of thing. I think in the midfield area, I know Tom Medge, our Brentford correspondent, is really high on the way Vissa's playing at the moment. He's had a few returns lately. The problem is I look at him, I think he's 5'7", Vissa, and I can't look at Mbumo at 5.2 and think, oh, just go Mbumo. So they're not out of the running for me. I think Ajer, Janssen particularly are decent defensively in terms of their capability from set pieces and stuff. But Ray at 4.3, when you look at the likes of Cedric, Tavares, Sessegnon and stuff, and I think, do I want to pay more for a Brentford player than these guys who you'd probably fancy for a clean sheet this weekend as well? So I think Raya.
That's it for the games that Spurs. We haven't mentioned. Yeah, just get them.
Who you captain?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
I'm captain Son.
I might well be with you on captaining Son, but the honest answer is I haven't got a clue at the moment. I need to think about it.
And I'm going to look down the camera when I say this and say, now that I've said that, you know exactly what that means on Sunday.
Yeah, Harry Kane's going to outscore him.
Harry Kane's going to outscore him.
Good. Let's answer some questions.
I think they're the top two for the week.
Nice.
I think Liverpool assets, City assets. I feel like Chelsea captaincy is off the table now.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It's really tough. I even think people like Saka this weekend.
Not a bad shout. Clive, which do you look forward to the most? The first day of the new season or the last day of the season?
First.
I would agree with you. This season's been long though.
Everyone starts level, don't they?
I feel like
when you're all allowed to have your dreams.
If you have something riding on the last day of the season, it can be a great. You can go into the last day looking to get top 4 or win, get into Champions League, get European football, avoid relegation is not something to look forward to. But I think I'm with you, but I am grateful that the season's over in a few days. I think it's time to breathe. It's been intense this season, isn't it? With the double game weeks and everything, it's been a bit much. Although next season ain't going to be any fucking better.
Enjoyed the carnage.
Yeah.
I told you what I didn't enjoy was every weekend not knowing if my football team were going to play or not. But from the carnage of the strategy and stuff, and I know it's been quite taxing on a lot of people. And with the doubles, yes, it has felt more intense this year. But I've enjoyed that side of it. Next year, I've seen a few people saying, well, at least next year will be normal. What you mean, like throwing a fucking World Cup in the middle of it? What do you think they'll do? Do you think there's a chance to give everyone unlimited during the World Cup? I think that's got to be a possibility, isn't it?
I think they'll do
thinking about it.
Yeah, quite possibly.
Keep people's engagement. Again, sorry, the FPL community is not the target market. I can see them having thought about it more, going, yeah, sod it, unlimited transfers for everyone during that period. So, yeah, 3 potential wildcards next year, maybe.
Jake,
I have no ITK on that, by the way.
Jake says, would you rather have played and captained your team, so Spurs, and everything that comes with it, including the pro footballer's salary?
Yes, I don't care what option B is.
but your team win nothing.
Yeah, I'll talk with Shanae. I don't care.
Or watch your team win the league. I'll take the money, mate.
Oh, hang on. Oh, my own team gets to win the league.
Or you watch your team and they win the league. Or you get to play for your team and captain them and get the money, but you win nothing.
Oh, I watched them win it.
Nah, come on, man. You're talking about 100 grand a week, 200 grand a week?
No, I watched them win it.
You don't want the salary. You don't want to captain the club.
No, I want
don't
them to
wear
win
the badge. You don't want to do a mural of you like they did a Ledley.
Who wants to see my face up large?
Can you imagine? You could
No
get
one can imagine that.
If James was Spurs captain, the first endorsement, he'd get signed up by Chick King. You'd hear him do the TV adverts for Chick King in his Spurs shirt. I might wear a cockerel, but I eat a chicken. That's James's slogan.
Sorry, I'll take us winning it.
Ragav, he wants a candidate for triple captain. Give him one. Who should he go with?
For 38?
Yeah, man.
The first thing I'd say is not a forward.
Midfielder.
Yeah.
Son. If you're going to captain Son, you've got to think he's the...
If Salah's injured, Son's EO is going to obviously be very big at the weekend. It's going to be over 100%.
Get Mane.
But his last day, like as I always say, play it your way. Triple captain for the final day. Do you know what? There are so many options this week. So I can't. I want to say to you a Chelsea player. I really, really do. But I don't think that's right. I think the outstanding Chelsea option is now Mount, isn't it? They're so fucking dull. Game week 38, captain Mason Mount. I'm not having it. Last day, triple captaincy. I am going to say... Sorry, I think Sonny's the right answer.
Dave, simple goal. It's a Sky question. How does Suj feel about manager of the month? It's a decent gap, but not insurmountable. It's about 25 points now. Had I bloody captained someone on Sunday, it might be a bit less. But
did you actually remember to do shit last night?
Yeah, mate. I bought Lukaku.
So I was
Pulisic.
I was WhatsApping.
I was in the jiu-jitsu gym, but I'd said to the instructor, because the class starts at 7, I was like, mate, I can't make a phone call at 7. So I'm going to be 5 minutes late. And he's like, we're all grown-ups. Do what you got to do. Sitting in the dressing room, changing room.
We're all grown-ups playing this fantasy team. I was WhatsApping this dickhead because, honestly...
He rang me twice. I was like, this is cool. Who's rang me?
I was doing bits yesterday. I'd picked Harry up from nursery. I was making him something to eat. And I happened to look at Twitter. And the Everton team was there. Honestly, I'd forgot the games were even on, mate. And I thought, oh, my God, Sky reminder for Suj. And Suj, you know when you get the 2 ticks on WhatsApp, there was no ticks or nothing. So I'm messaging him again. You're going to forget. I nearly forgot. I'm certain that you're going to nearly forget.
I bought Rudiger and James and Pulisic and Lukaku. So I went 4 Chelsea. It didn't help me, though. I did make up some ground.
Now you got to get rid of them on Sunday because none of them were starting.
Well, at least we'll know who does and doesn't. So
it was the right play, mate.
Yeah, I think we'll see. I lost it on last Sunday. That's when the gap opened up. I feel like whoever's top now, he captained Vardy that day, and that's what's really powered him ahead. 25 points, doable, but not optimistic. But I will go rogue. Right? There's no point in in anything else. Really.
And you're on your own this time.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm in Norwich. Just a shout out, by the way, for obviously Dave Perrins and Neil Curra.
Dave's 3 points in it, mate. Come on, Dave.
Simple goal and FPL canal to the FPL Twitter community. They can both legitimately still win Sky Fantasy Football this year. It's 50k to the winner. Boys, good luck.
Food question, James. We've got to have one from the same person, Pilot Flame, who asked about the poutine last week, which we established was chips with cheese sauce and gravy.
So many people found the food segment on Monday hilarious.
Yeah, man.
I thought it was shit.
Well, I think...
It's food. I want to talk about football.
This summer, we'll do a bit more food stuff when there is no football. I still haven't been to Chick King.
We're going to sack off Correspondent Week. Planet FPL does food in August.
We'd get more views.
What?
On YouTube would get more views.
Why?
I haven't been to Chick King yet. So I still
to Chick King.
Want to go to Chick King. We'll go together. Nico, have you been to Chick King? No. Do you eat fried chicken? Yeah, chicken burger, or would you go with the pieces of chicken?
No. You go to chicken, you go to pieces. Yeah.
Oh, you have pieces, yeah? No burger, no wrap, none of that. Okay.
No, but what's wrong with you?
I don't know.
The only time is acceptable to go into a fried chicken shop and get a chicken burger is because you don't fucking trust the fucking off the bone shit.
Yeah.
That's the reality.
Since we loved Pilot Flame's poutine question last week, here is poutine is very different to putain. If you speak French, you'd understand. Here is. Do you speak French? No. Okay. Here is another food question. If you could replace one of the parts of a classic English breakfast, what would you replace it with? For example, swapping the eggs for another protein, or the toast out for another carb, or something.
I'd ditch the egg, actually. I'm not bothered, yeah. I'm not bothered.
I don't mind a bit of egg, but I need the yolk runny.
If you want to give me chips / hash browns, wherever you're at, beans, sausage, bacon, I'm okay. The rest I can take or leave.
Black pudding? Is that really classic?
Is this Irish breakfast?
I'm not bothered about the toast so much.
Does it come with it part of an Irish fry-up? Is that fair? Black pudding?
Yeah, no, I don't know. I thought it was English breakfast, black pudding.
I say this, first time I ever had black pudding was when I was in Cork. I was over for a mate's wedding in Ireland. And the guy's like, you're going to love the black pudding. And it was one of them was like, yeah, you know, you go through gritted teeth. Like, what is this shit you've just given me? It's okay. I mean, I definitely live without black pudding.
I can live without the toast. And I'll tell you, I've been thinking about it while you've been chatting about black pudding. So I don't eat the toast with the items of the English breakfast. I don't eat toast with the egg or toast with the beans or whatever. I'll put the toast to one side and then I'll want jam on it, butter and jam. And then obviously I'll dip it in my tea, dunk it in my tea, as the regular patrons will know. So it's like a dessert. I treat the toast with jam as like a dessert from my English breakfast. It's not
really worried
part
about
of the English breakfast. So I think I'd ditch the toast. But what I'd replace it with, a carb. Fuck knows.
Do you want pasta? Pasta in your fry?
Pasta. But I do you like fried bread?
Yes.
Yeah, I like fried bread. I fuck the toast off and
I
have
literally
fried bread.
cannot remember the last time I had fried bread, and now you said that, I want to go and
Have some
definitely have
fried
that for
bread.
lunch. Yeah.
Have you had full? You into full Englishes? Yeah, man. Nico's
Especially
in
when
it.
I'm buying it.
Nico's in it. And last question of the show. Ali Bismo says, have you tried Indonesian cuisine? It's up there with the best food. I guarantee it. James, are you into Indonesian food?
I don't think I've ever had it.
I'm pretty sure Nasi Goreng is Indonesian. Nasi Goreng.
Who does he play for?
It's trying to sell me Nasi Goreng. It's a Southeast Asian
It's
dish.
6.5 million.
Origin Indonesia. Yeah, Indonesian food is banging, and Nasi Goreng is right up there as one of the nicest. James couldn't eat it, Ali, because on a scale of 1 to 10, the spice level is 2.
Yeah, you ever seen that
James
interviews?
can barely handle play.
They will have someone outside that, and they do like a stitch up, a wind up, and they get older football fans. They'd be like, "Oh, I've just heard it confirmed you're buying Nasi Goreng for £40 million. Like, what's your thoughts?" And then there'll be dickheads standing there going,
I'm not seeing that, but
I heard great things about him. Yeah, brilliant midfield player. And then the guy will stand back to him and go, actually, he's a centre forward. Oh yeah. He's changed in it last few years or something like that. Yeah, Nasi Goreng. That's mate.
I love a Nasi Goreng. All I'm saying is that James won't be able to eat it. It's too spicy.
Can you put it in Google? Who does Nasi Goreng play for? I want to see what comes up.
Nah. I don't think there's a football player called Nasi Goreng, mate. But these modern footballers do name their kids after all sorts of random shit. So one day there might be one. There we go. That's a wrap, James. That's the questions that we've had. We've answered everything else. We've got food questions. And keep your eyes and ears peeled. Subscribe to the show wherever you're listening. iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Spotify.
Have you even drafted something?
Nah, not yet. I'm taking it easy. I'll wait and see on the day. I might start drinking at midday and get pissed and do it at 1 or something.
When I do the deadline stream, or not the deadline stream on Saturday night, I'll have my team up, and that's almost definitely going to be what it's going to be, subject to Saturday night embargoed stuff. But I think if I had to lock it right now, I would be something like Raya, James, Trent, Robbo, Cancelo, Ryan Sessegnon, 5 at the back, Sonny captain, Mount, Bowen, Diaz, Kane.
Nice.
Something like that. Could easily be Saka.
I'm sure 5 or 6 of mine will be the same as James's because we're both on the free hit. Did you know, James, that rendang curry is also Indonesian? Whilst James has been rabbiting on, I've been on Google looking at what food is from Indonesia. Beef rendang curry.
You go and have your rendang. I'm going to go and have some fried bread.
Lovely, jubbly. Listeners, make sure you're subscribed to iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Spotify particularly. Leave us a review. I think in the next couple of weeks we're going to read some reviews and have some fun.
Oh,
with that.
What a great shout. And particularly bad ones, but please don't write one.
No, don't write them. If you're gonna give us a bad review, then send it in to help@planetfpl.com and maybe we'll do a survey or we'll send out a link to something. And we'll do a show on that. Other than that, enjoy the weekend. Last weekend of football. Enjoy it. Obviously, we've got Champions League, but then taking a little break. Stay safe. Look after yourselves. Ciao.
Thanks, everyone. Play it your way. Be nice to each other. Cue music, please, man, child.